oppression and ill treatment of Muslim women has been a harrowing issue for a long time. Did you know 73% of Muslim women in Iraq face sexual and domestic abuse? 77% of Muslim women in France said they wore hijab because of physical threats. The average Egyptian woman gets harassed 7 times every 200 meters. Also, 38% of Muslims want to deny women the freedom to choose their own clothing. 87% of Saudi men blame women for sexual harassment and assault. Thankfully, Islamic feminism is now on the rise. One advocate for equality between Muslim men and women is Zainab Anwar. She is a leading feminist activist, the co-founder and former executive director of Sisters in Islam, and the co-founder and director of Musawa, a global movement for equality and justice in a Muslim family. Her campaign started with the question, if God is just, if Islam is just, why do laws and policies made in the name of Islam create injustice? Anwar believed it had naught to do with Islam itself, but due to culture and tradition, and also the Quran's interpretation, saying, how could a religion say all these things about women? There is a disconnect between our faith in God that is just, and what we are being told by supposed authorities on the religion. Zainab received word of this injustice from wives who had been horribly mistreated, and began questioning, why is it your husband's right to take another wife, to beat their wives, to demand total obedience, or to demand sex? What really urged her to start a revolution for Muslim women's rights was that it was said that the oppression and ill treatment of women could be justified by God's teaching, a direct insult to her faith. The women she spoke to had turned to the religious authorities for help but were neglected, and gave up saying, but what can we do? That's what Islam says. Thus starting a revolution for women's rights. Sisters in Islam find solutions for the issues of polygamy, child marriage, moral policing, jurisprudence, violence against women, the hijab, and hudud. The group promotes the rights of women within the framework of Islam to help Malaysian families and informs women on the opportunities they have so that they don't have to stand abuse. Sisters in Islam read the Quran for themselves to devise more relevant humanitarian interpretations and have been criticized by conservative organizations for promoting monogamy as the Quranic ideal. The organization is one of the main advocates of justice and equality in Islam, not only in Malaysia, but throughout the world for Muslims and citizens affected by the unjust Muslim laws and the rise of conservatism and extremism in their societies. They have successfully created a public voice and a public space that enable Muslims to engage with their faith in the struggle for justice, human rights and democracy in the 21st century. Roya Romani, a human rights activist, said they helped women be confident and claim rights while staying intact with their identities and religious traditions. One of Musawa's, meaning equality's, main key messages are that in the 21st century there cannot be justice without equality, and the time of justice is now.